Need help with your ball striking? Check out these superb secret tips from 10 of the world's best players. As golfers, we are all looking for that one swing thought, that single game-changing move that can suddenly transform our fortunes. In this exclusive instruction feature, we have compiled some of our favorite tips from some of the best ball strikers on the planet. Whether you recognize a fault in your own game within the solutions provided, or you're simply looking for some inspiration for your next range session, the advice that follows might just lay the foundations for better swings and sweeter strikes. Check out these superb Tour Pro ball striking tips to help your game. At number 1. Dustin Johnson, Knee Flex. In an attempt to make a long backswing and store up as much power as possible, you can over-rotate and straighten your right knee. The result is a reverse pivot, which places the majority of weight on your left side at the top of the swing. This mistake also causes the club to swing back longer than you need, making it extremely difficult to square the club face at impact. You need to shorten your swing and correct your weight shift in order to create more power with your driver. To do so, work on maintaining a slight knee bend in your right knee all the way from address to the top of your swing. As you take your club to the top, let your body weight shift to your right heel, so you feel athletic and loaded with energy. You'll find that your swing feels a little shorter than normal, but this is a good thing. In reality, all you're doing is getting rid of an artificially long backswing that was actually sapping the power from your swing. At number 2. Luke Donald, Posture. When I set up to the ball, I stand pretty tall at first and then have a little bit of a knee bend. I then tip my upper body forward from my hips. That is important, because a lot of people try to get their upper body over the ball by having too much knee bend. That means they sit on their heels too much. In itself, that is not a very athletic position, but it also means that your spine angle is wrong. You need that good spine angle so that your arms hang down naturally. From there, you can make an athletic turn, keeping that spine angle constant through the swing. Sometimes I have too much knee flex at address and that means I sit back into my heels. I get too far away from the ball and I end up having to reach for it. My hand-eye coordination means I can get away with it, but if you're not playing every day, you will struggle. If you regularly thin it or hit it fat, work on your posture.
Connection starts from the ground up, Rock, and you know it all starts in how we set up to the ball. We have to get our body in an athletic position, get our body in a position that it works natural from. And what we always told you was you had to be inside heel measurement, shoulder width. We want your knees slightly bent in. Hogan used to talk about feeling like he gripped the ground with the inside of his feet. And then from there, when you put your arms and you hold something, you're tying it in to the whole shoulder girdle, the lats, the pecs, the whole area. Now my body is in a strong position. If I had a sack of potatoes or 50 pounds and I wanted to throw it in that direction, I'd go to my right leg, I'd go to my left leg. Not one time would I do it with my arms or try to do anything. I'd shift my weight to the right, shift my weight to the left. One of Hogan's thoughts was that he always tried to imagine when he changed his swing that his elbows were attached to his body on his stomach, not up at the shoulder. And he actually, what he called, created a half a left arm there. And that would be like holding something heavy, you'd be here opposed to here. Right. And Hogan, and you were too, a little bit that way in the golf swing, a little what we call long arm. So we like to see what we call half a left arm, and it connects to the whole shoulder girdle. So if I'm holding something heavy, I'm holding it with my pec and my lat. My spine is between my shoulders, so that just ties everything in. And then it ties in all the way down in your legs, your body, and everything.
At number 3. Camilo Villegas, Left Wrist. My favorite swing tip is to keep your left wrist flat when you strike the ball. My first golf coach in Colombia taught me this. When I was a kid, I use it almost every time I play, and it's the one move I fall back on when I start to struggle. If your left wrist is cupped, bent back, at impact, then you've allowed the club face to pass your hands. You'll hit the shot thin or off to the right every time this way. If it's bowed, bent forward, then you're likely to have hooking problems. I'm guilty of this one. If you get this right, you'll hit it a lot straighter. At number 4. Jim Furyk, Ball Position. Here's a quick way to improve your contact. Stop playing the ball so far back in your stance. If I've seen one amateur player do this, I've seen 1,000, and they all do it for the same reason. They think that playing the ball back will help them make contact with the ball first and the ground second, producing a nice, healthy divot. But think about it, If you try to hit a ball that's somewhere behind the middle of your stance while correctly shifting your weight forward on your downswing, how can you expect to make contact? You can't, so you adjust by eliminating your weight shift and hanging back on your right side. At number 5. Henrik Stenson, shoulder angle. With a driver or fairway wood, your shoulders should be tilted at address. The left one should be higher than the right one, and not square, as they are with your irons. This technique ensures that you reap the benefit of whatever loft your driver or wood has to offer. Remember that modern drivers are designed to carry the ball a long way through the air, so a solid setup position will help you squeeze out every available
Okay, this is a fantastic drill for the person that's got the problem of coming forward in the shot. So all we're going to do is going to get a shaft. We're going to get the end of the golf club in line with the left shoulder, and you can see the club head in front of us. All we're going to try and do is get the club. We're going to try and pretend that we're going to strike the ball. So you can see that my right shoulder goes down into the shot. If I come up and lose it, you can see straight away I'm going to miss the ball. So keep a good setup for me. Get behind, so turn to the right, and then down to the ball. Down to the ball. If you've got difficulties doing this, we need to then start working on the stretching exercises, and you'll get there. Enjoy it.
The angle of the shoulder turn. I think this is a topic that isn't talked about enough and is extremely, extremely important. And I've only talked about half of it so far. I've talked about on the way back, you want a shoulder turn that's 90 degrees to the spine. And I've said that, you know, I've also mentioned that you want the turn through being 90 degrees to the spine. Well, what I haven't talked about is the mistake that most people make. Even a lot of PGA Tour players make this mistake, but they have lots and lots of talent. They practice for 4, 5, 6 hours a day so they can make up for some of these issues. And what I mean by this is the most common mistake that I see. The most common mistake that I see is too flat going back and too vertical coming through, okay? People say, well, you know, if you're coming over the top, it's going to be too flat coming through. But it's not the shoulder turn that creates the over the top, it's the hand movement. So it's too far inside, over the top, and then the shoulders work vertically, and there's your pull slice.
At number 6. Tommy Fleetwood, lag. If you ever see a top golfer swing in slow motion, you can see the lag. This is where, halfway through the downswing, the shaft is bent. It's almost like it's lagging behind the rotation of the body. As the player releases the angle in the wrists through impact, the club head rips through the ball with extra speed. If you see a player, someone like Ricky Fowler, who looks narrow on the way down, that's usually because they have a lot of lag. The opposite of this is when you release the angle in your wrists too early, and that's known as casting. That really costs you speed. To get lag, drag your arms down from the top. Imagine that you are holding a rope at the top of your backswing and just pull it straight down.
Lag in the downswing is probably one of the most misinterpreted things in how golf instruction's taught. So people are told, when you get to the top, lag the club head behind the hands and keep the angle as long as you can. Well, the problem with this is that, one, the club face is going to come in way too open, and two, there's not going to be enough velocity because there's less transfer of energy. So what I would advise you to do is to make your normal golf swing, but as you're coming down into the ball, at impact, we want to see both wrists unhinged, so both wrists are in extension and both arms are straight. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow from here, as you're maintaining that, the down cocking of this angle and then the rotation of the lead forearm, which is going to help you transfer the energy in the golf ball, giving you better speed and better accuracy.
At number 7. Justin Rose, weight shift. Getting the shaft leaning forward at impact, with your hands ahead of the club head and the club face stable, isn't as simple as just lean the shaft forward. It actually involves your whole body. The key is to shift 90% of your weight to your front foot on your downswing. Think of it this way, if you shift everything forward, then your hands shift forward, and stay ahead of the club head. Getting your weight forward also stops you from hanging back on your right side, where you're forced to flip the club head with your wrists just to make contact with the ball. This usually results in a slice. At number 8. Michelle Wie, narrow focus. Here's my tip, focus on the ball, and I mean really focus. At address, pick out a single dimple and don't lose sight of it until your ball leaves the face. Eyeballing a dimple steadies your body, keeping you lower to the ball, and prevents you from lifting your torso through the hitting zone. It sounds like a small thing, but little things can make a big difference. So take it from me, keep your eye on the ball. At number 9. Ernie Els, left arm connection. The connection between your left arm, your grip and the club head that you establish at address isn't just good for your setup. It actually helps you make a simple backswing, without worrying about swing plane and path. As you start the club back, keep your left arm pinned, try to cover the logo on your shirt with your left bicep. To maintain this connection, you need to turn your shoulders rather than swing your arms. Even as your arms lift and your wrists hinge to complete your backswing, you should still feel the connection. Once you lose that connection, your chances of falling off plane or swinging beyond your level of control increase dramatically.
Once you understand the connection of the left arm, I think it's important that you understand the role the left arm plays in the golf swing. And I think people have been misled forever in how the left arm travels and what it does. First of all, you know, through teaching golf over the years, you always try to find the simplest ways that people relate best to the golf swing or to a feel. And one of the feels that I've found that really helps people to understand the golf swing is the feeling of keeping the left elbow always pointed down to the ground. Again, in Ben Hogan's 5 Fundamentals, he drew a picture of the left arm and how it worked, and he drew the picture of the left arm set at the top, and he drew the picture of the left arm traveling this way. And he described that as feeling like you thumb a ride. And I thought that was really a good way to describe it. And what I want you to understand is this club face is controlled actually by your left elbow. If my left elbow rolls here, look how that changed the club face. Look at the angle that created. And not only when the left elbow rolls here does it change the club face, it changes your radius and it changes your arc. So the idea, if you keep your left elbow down, look how your arc stays the same, look how the face of the club stays the same, and the radius of the golf swing stays the same. This can be done by simply connecting the left arm to your shoulder, feeling that you hold a handkerchief under it, and by the simple feeling of keeping your left elbow down going back and your left elbow down going through. That's exactly the way Hogan drew in his book the way the left arm traveled.
I'm going to talk to you now about left arm connection. And the left arm connects to the upper left side of the body. As you take the golf club away, you kind of feel that as you go back connected. But then at about this point, the left arm will rise up the chest. So it doesn't stay completely plugged in right there. There's a little motion throughout your backswing where the arm kind of goes up your chest. And then when you start down, the arm rides down your chest. But at this stage, halfway down, which I call the corner of the swing, the back corner of the swing, the arm connects, or there's a pressure point right here through impact. And this is so important for hitting the ball long. So many people come in with the space right here or slide the left arm across the body. This pressure point right here through impact to the other corner, this front side of the golf swing, corner to corner, is connected. And that left arm is very much against my side. You couldn't put anything underneath my armpit right here. And then it will go to the complete finish.
At number 10. Jason Day, swing wide to narrow. Wide swings are powerful swings, but simply tracing a wide arc won't help you add speed. The trick is to take the club back with your left arm extended and keep the grip as far away from your head as possible, then snap the grip down close to your body at the start of the downswing. Moving from a wide position at the top to a narrow one in your downswing boosts your swing speed. But don't overdo the wide part and keep your right arm straight in your backswing. Let it fold normally. Think high hands at the top.
Talk about wide, narrow, wide. This is what we're talking about. As Kevin sets up to the golf ball here, both his arms, you can see, are fully extended. They're both straight. He's ready to make a good takeaway from the golf ball. As he takes the golf club away from the ball, as he starts turning his body away, you can see he's got a very wide position here. Left arm is going to be kept straight. Right arm's got a little bit of bend in it here, but he's still in a very, very wide position at the top as he's taking the golf club away. Now as he gets to the top of his golf swing, this is where we talk about getting narrow. We need to make sure that the golf club starts getting close to our body and close to our head. But as you can see, the way the golf club gets narrow here, look at how it starts getting closer to his body. Not as much as Sergio Garcia these days, but he's still in a very narrow position up here. He's creating a ton of lag in the golf swing a couple of ways. Number one, he's starting the downswing with his lower body and shifting to the left side. Number two, he is starting the downswing first before he completes his backswing. Number three, he's got very, very soft, supple wrist to be able to create this lag. So in his backswing, he was very wide, taking the golf club away. Now he's getting to a position where he's very, very narrow. And then as we start getting down into impact, you can see this is where we start talking about getting very wide again. Both arms are fully extended at impact. Weight is onto the left side. He's not ripped his shoulders open. He's not ripped his hips open. They're in a position where he's able to control the golf club. But here's the best part about it is after impact, look how both of his arms fully extend through the golf ball. Even after impact here, both arms are fully extended. So he has gone from wide in the backswing to narrow in the downswing to now a very, very wide position in the follow-through. This is what gives Kevin Kisner the ability to hit the ball as long as he does, as consistently as he does. He's not a very big guy, but Kevin is one of the longest hitters on tour.
And here is our pick on the secret swing tips from pro golfers. And let us know your thoughts in the comments section below.